Okay, you're gonna bring him. Okay, that's the intro. That's the intro. Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm back with books and tuxedos. These are the books. This is the tuxedo, and this is the husband.
Hello.
This is going to be a reading vlog. There is a slight plan and slight not so much of a plan, so we'll see how it goes. You don't still need to stand there with him. No.
But he's part of it. Okay.
So this week's reading vlog, there is a readathon that I'm loosely participating in, that's happening on Jordaline's Patreon. If you're unfamiliar with Jordaline, she is amazing. You should check out her channel. She is so funny. There's so many inside jokes. The Patreon's great too. She'll tell you it's not a cult, but it's a cult, okay? So, great time though. I highly recommend. So the readathon that she's hosting on her channel, it's called Breakfast at Tiffany's, and there's all these different prompts that you can choose from. I did pick 3 that I want to stick to and try to get done in this reading vlog. So the 3 that I picked are to read an Amish Romance, a book with Satan on the cover in the title, and a book featured on Jordaline Reads' channel. So for the book featured on Jordaline Reads' channel, I was actually on reading sprints with her on the Patreons a couple days ago, and I asked what were like the 5 essential Jordaline reads. And one of them that she mentioned that I have on my physical TBR is Mary by Nat Cassidy. I can't believe I still haven't gotten to this with how much people hype up this book. Like, I know it's going to be great, and I think it's one of those that, like, it's an anticipated 5-star, and I know it's going to be really good. So, like, if I'm disappointed at all, I'm going to be sad, you know? So it's just one of those that I'm, like, I'm scared because it's going to be so good. So this is what I'm going to read for the book featured on her channel. And then for the book with Satan on the cover and the title, I didn't have a book that had like the devil on the cover, but I felt like Satan, devil could be interchangeable, and I've been wanting an excuse to read this because the author's new book just came out and I have it on hold at the library, and I really wanted to read this before I read the new release. This is The Devil Takes You Home by Gabriel Inglesias? Yeah, I think that's how you say his name. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. I have heard that there is parts that are in Spanish in this as well, and I don't speak Spanish at all, but I'm actually really excited for the challenge of even like looking up the translation and having it make sense in the story. I'm excited to get to this. I also see on the front that it was blurbed by Stephen Graham Jones, which I just read. I Was a Teenage Slasher by him, so it's always fun when I see like an author I love blurbing another author. I'm actually really excited to get to this, so that'll be for that. And then for an Amish romance, I've actually been on the hunt for an Amish romance because of this specific readathon for the past like week. Like every time I keep looking it up, I'm like, I need to find an Amish romance to read. And I don't think it's gonna be for me, like not at all. I'm probably not gonna like it, like at all. But I actually went to the thrift store today and they had so many Amish romances. I don't know if someone just like donated the entirety of their library that was all Amish romances or what, but let me show you. So I picked up The Covenant by Beverly Lewis, and I did pay $2.99 for this, so I really hope that it's gonna be at least entertaining. I am really scared. Look at her. Like, I just don't think this is going to be for me. But I did get on like a deep dive into like Amish customs and culture, whatever, from Jordaline's Patreon. I don't know why the Patreon thing is the Amish, but it is, and I'm kind of really on a deep dive into research on the Amish, so I'm excited to see how this goes. And then for some other books that I just wanted to include in this vlog, I wanted to do kind of like a TBR game. So I was gonna have like my husband pick my TBR essentially. I don't have my books separated as far as read or unread, so I'm just gonna let him pick, and if I've read the book then he'll just pick again. I do have these shelves, and then I'll insert kind of just a clip of the books that I own. I have these shelves, and then in the living room I have like manga and nonfiction. So I guess the only other kind of thing to note is if he picks a like third book in the series that I haven't started, I'll read the first book. If he picks like the first book in the series that I've read, I'll read like the next book in the series if I own it. I guess only other thing to note is that I do have some books that are turned around, and reason being is that they're St. Martin's Press titles, and I am currently participating in the boycott of St. Martin's Press as far as the marketing boycott, and I don't really want to have him pick a book that I read and then can't talk about, and I'm also just not very motivated to pick up their titles, so they are turned around. I don't think there's anything else to note. I do have kind of a section of books that I am unhauling, but because they're still technically here, I guess if he picks it, I'll consider reading it. I might have him, I think I'm gonna have him pick 4 and then pick 3. I hope he doesn't pick like anything super chunky. But I'm just gonna let him pick. I guess I should be explaining this to him and not you, so he knows what he's doing. What you're gonna do, it's pretty easy. I'm gonna have you pick 4 books, and then I'm gonna choose to read 3 of them. I mean, obviously books I haven't read, so I'll just have you do one at a time. And if I say I'm committed to reading it, then I'm committed to reading it, but I get one swap at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, you can pick out of these, or you can pick out of the books in the living room. Maybe I'll just go in the other room and you can just show them, and then I'll look at what you pick.
Okay.
The turned around, just don't pick any of the books that are turned around, because it's the St. Martin's Press boycott, so we're not picking those. But anything else is fair game.
Gotcha.
Like with the pages out.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else you can pick. So I'll let you show them what you're choosing for me to read. Okay.
Yes. It looked like a fancy cover. You said 3?
You can pick 4, and then I get to pick 3.
Ah, okay. Okay, I picked 4.
Okay, oh boy. What do you pick?
Got Butcher and Blackbird.
I've read this.
Crap. Alright.
It's a 2-star. It's terrible. I need to unhaul this. I hate this book.
Alright.
I thought you would have known I read that based on how
Nope.
much I hate it.
Nope.
What if you got 4 that I read?
0 for 1. Alright. Number 2.
Okay, he picked Son of a Witch by Gregory Maguire. I have read Wicked, and I started this previously and never continued, so we have 1.
Gotta finish it.
Yeah. No, you can see how far I got. I got to page 9.
Page 9. Oh my god.
I wasn't in the mood. I wanted the audiobook.
Alright, then we got number 3.
Okay. To Shape a Dragon's Breath. I haven't read this. This is like, I believe this is YA by an indigenous author, and it has dragons, so that could be a good one.
I'm a big fan of fantasy, so...
You picked the dragons.
Kind of do, so.
Okay.
And this one's more of a, I know you've been meaning to read this.
Ooh. I want to read Uzumaki, so that's a good pick. You just picked books I pretty much want to read.
Well, some of them just, I don't know. The dragon one looked pretty cool. I know you've been wanting to read this for a while.
I have been.
So.
Well, this will be easy enough to get through.
The other two.
These are two, not long, but these are longer than you think, because this man has a lot to say, though.
Okay. If you're looking for a man who has a lot to say, here you go.
Okay, but I've read that, and I'm really glad you didn't pick another Brandon Sanderson, because that would have been tough.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna do that to you.
Yeah, that was nice. I was scared you were gonna pick like the entirety of the Lord of the Rings.
Why would I do that?
I thought you might be mean.
No.
So are these my 3, or do you want to?
I'm gonna say those are your 3.
These are my 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is gonna be the TBR then. Got these. Okay, you gotta put it the right way. Yeah, this way. And then we're reading these.
Oh, there's 6.
This is it. This is the stack.
All right.
Yeah, because the other ones are for the Readathon with Jordaline. That's why we got the. Remember, I was telling you about the.
Yes.
The Amish Romance.
Okay. Well, you have fun with that.
Yeah.
I'll be over here.
This might not happen in a week. This might be an extended vlog, but yeah, this is the TBR. I'll update you when I start something. Hi, I finished Mary. This was amazing. I loved this. I'm sorry, I wish I updated the vlog as I was reading this, because I had so many thoughts as I was reading this. I was like confused halfway through, but like this was like perfect for me as far as like a horror book. Like easy 5 stars, amazing. I don't know why I've been putting this off for, I think I've owned this for maybe a year, but like I heard about it before then. I don't know why I haven't read this sooner. I really should have. I think it's same like I kind of talked in my vlog last week about like sometimes you hear about a book being so good and you're like scared to be disappointed if it doesn't live up to like the hyped expectations. And I didn't even really know what this was actually about as far as like the plot. I don't really read like synopsis of books, really. Like, sometimes when I'm at the bookstore, and I'm, like, just kind of glancing about what a book's about, but I never remember that when I actually go to order the book. I just heard, like, it was hyped by someone I follow or something like that. I didn't know it was about, like, a middle-aged woman, and it was written by a man. That's all I knew. And I've just heard Jordaline talk about how much she loves this for so long now, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up sooner, because she's right, and it was amazing. So I guess just to tell you a little bit about Mary. So we follow Mary. She's a 49-year-old woman working at a bookstore in New York, and she's starting to go through, like, menopause changes, but it's obviously also something way more. Every time she looks in the mirror, she sees herself reflected back at her, but in her reflection, she's, like, decaying, like, body falling apart. And also every other woman that she sees also has this happening. Like, she looks at a woman and the woman's just decaying before her eyes. So she's like, that's fucked up. I'm gonna go to the doctor. This can't be normal. And the doctor's like, oh yeah, you're going through the change. It's menopause, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she ends up getting fired from her job at the bookstore in New York. And she goes to move back to her hometown of Arizona to help take care of her aunt, Nadine, who was just wild. This character, man, Nadine was crazy. Mary was crazy, but didn't want to be called crazy. Like, there was just so much happening in this book, and that's only just, like, the synopsis, the beginning, the setup, I guess. And then from there, it essentially just gets wild. She continues to have these hallucinations. She has this journal that random messages are just appearing in that she didn't remember writing. Wait, let me see what's in the actual synopsis that I can say. Yeah, so she starts auto-writing the strange phrases and then discovers that these experiences are echoes of an infamous serial killer, and then the killings in the town begin again. So that's essentially what we follow throughout the book. This was just so amazing. Like, it was, like, beautifully written, but so gory. Like, it's just, I don't know. And then the loved ones. I am not gonna look at, like, porcelain figures and, like, porcelain dolls the same ever again after reading this book. And then just, like, the side characters, the hospital. I don't know who I would recommend this to. I guess if you like weird horror books, obviously, but it really is a niche audience in a way. If you do like unreliable narrators, I tried to look up some reviews just to get my thoughts in order. Some of the negative reviews, they were saying that they were like bored in the beginning, but I was not bored. I was very invested in Mary and what she was doing. Even when her like line of thinking clearly doesn't make like any sense half of the time. I'm trying to figure out my thoughts on a book.
And he wanted to say hello.
What do you think about? You want to read Mary?
Probably not.
Yeah, read Mary. It's spooky.
Majority of your books are spooky.
Yeah, it's good. That's really good. He wouldn't like it. Probably he wouldn't like it. But also the author's note at the end as well. There's just so many conversations that you could have with this as well, because he does acknowledge like, hey, I'm a cis man writing from the perspective of a woman going through menopause, and it's just really like, I guess, like self-aware, but also bringing up the conversations about like patriarchy and how society views women, and how we view ourselves, especially like women as they get older, which, what do I know, I'm 29, you know, but like that's definitely something that I've seen just as far as how self-critical women can be. I mean, obviously throughout their lives, you know, but Yeah, I don't know. That part was just really interesting, and it kind of also could bring up the conversation of, like, who has the right to write from what perspective. Like, how do people feel about cis men writing female main characters? And I think it just really depends on the way it's done and, like, what the intention is behind the work, and also just being open to taking criticism of that representation as well. God, honestly, I want to go back and, like, start at the beginning and read it again. This was my first Nat Cassidy book as well, and I'm definitely going to continue. I do want to pick up Nestlings, I believe it is. This is the only one that I own, though, so I do want to go and try to get that. But yeah, Mary, amazing, highly recommend. I also kind of like how floppy it is as well, just an unrelated note, like books that are floppy like this. I did also listen along between reading physically and the audiobook, so if you are an audiobook reader listener, I do recommend the audio book for this. I thought the narrator was really well done, especially in some of, like, the screaming parts were crazy. I just opened the page, don't call me crazy. This is throughout the book. And now, since I finished that, I think the next thing I'm gonna start here is The Covenant by, yeah, The Covenant, that's what it's called. The Covenant by Beverly Lewis, so in a completely different direction. I guess we're gonna start reading Amish Romance now, which I'm kind of not super excited about. I kind of just want to reread Mary, but we're gonna commit to the vlog and read the books that I'm supposed to read, and not just sit here and read the same book over and over again. I have no idea what this is actually about. Let's see. Oh, not the Christian reader. Blurbing it, oh god. Unveils the layers of deeply rooted Amish traditions as seen through the eyes of Leah and Sadie Espersole, two courting age sisters. So I don't know if this is actually that heavy on the romance. It might just be, like, following these two Amish sisters and maybe be kind of boring, I don't know. But it had decent, like, Goodreads reviews. Like, when I picked this one when I was at the thrift store and, like, looking at all the different Amish romances that Beverly Lewis is apparently the one that writes all the Amish romances, this was, like, the number 2 one that she's known for or whatever. So we'll see how this goes. If it's dragging too much, I might try to get, like, an audiobook, but it's 318 pages. So I'll try to update you with this one, like, maybe when I get, like, 50 pages in, just to let you know how it's going. I'm gonna try not to DNF anything in this vlog. And this was the only one that I was, like, worried might want to DNF. But I am committed to reading this for fulfilling the prompt for that readathon. So I'll update you once I finish this. It is currently Thursday. It's Thursday. It's been a long week. I was hoping I was gonna finish Mary sooner in the week so that this would be, like, a shorter vlog, but this might get extended out a little bit, or, like, a 2-part thing. We'll see. But also today I was gonna see if I could go check out the Barnes & Noble sale, which obviously I don't need books right now, but I did see that it's the 50% off the hardcovers. And I'm not really too big of a shopper at Barnes & Noble. Like, most of my stuff is from, like, the thrift store and, like, Pango Books and stuff like that. But when they have that sale, sometimes it's worth it. And there are a couple new releases that I would get if they were half price. So if I go, you'll find out very shortly, because I'll put it in the next clip. Okay, bye. have that.
Oh.
What do they say about this? Ethan struggles with a lot. You know, I'm over Ethan. The book was bad. What are those?
These are my Crocs.
What else we got, Ray? Ooh, a mystery bag. Tease gaming cooler bag, and there's cookies inside. It's a mystery. Okay. B15.
I got you though.
And 45.
Alright. The same.
Oh, 68.
No, you're good.
Get your vitamins B12. G57, honey.
Bingo!
57, we have
Wow,
bingo. G59.
I'm on a roll now.
G53. I17.
Alright, wait, hold up, I got one. Oh, you got one too? Damn.
I27.
Alright.
I20. B7, chicken wing. Oh, crazy chicken. Up next we have N39. G51.
Hi, so update since we spoke last. At Barnes & Noble, I ended up picking up the Unmothers as well as Nestlings. I really want to start this and just continuing reading everything that Cassidy wrote, but we're gonna stick to the vlog. So I am still reading The Covenant, which I'm not super happy about. I'm not loving this. I don't know why. I thought it would at least be entertaining. It's not like terribly written. Yeah, I'm like 100 pages into this. So essentially we're following these two sisters as they're like maturing through the Amish community and getting closer to what they call like courting age, which is when they're like eligible to not even start dating, because they want her to like get with the guy that her dad picked out or whatever. But also courting age is 16, which doesn't make any fucking sense. And then she's talking about how, like, she wanted to be a teacher, but she can't have continuous education as a woman after the age of 15. And they keep talking about the one sister as, like, a tomboy because she helps her dad work on, like, things in the field, like keeping up the farm and stuff, while the other sister is, like, doing her stitching and quilting and cooking or womanly activities or whatever. I think I knew that the Amishness of an Amish romance was gonna irritate me, but it's just, like, I need to take a break every few pages. I did pick up the audiobook just to try to get through this. I mean, the narrator isn't bad as far as having an annoying voice. It's just the content of this, of just me not caring. I found out this is a series too, which I didn't realize when I picked this up. So I feel like the romance isn't even going to be, like, I'm honestly doubting if anyone is even going to kiss in this. It's going to be like, he gazed at me from across the farm and our hands touched once, and that's going to be the climax of this romance. So, because this was, like, just driving me crazy, and I feel like it was going to put me in a reading slump if I continue to only read this, I did start The Devil Takes You Home, which is really good so far. I'm only on chapter 4. I just picked this up, started late last night. I do wish that I had bought the Book of the Month edition so that I had the translation guide. There are bits of this, like, it's in English with Spanish sprinkled throughout, like, there's whole sentences in Spanish. I know some Spanish, but not enough to, like, read a full sentence and be able to actually tell you the translation. So I have been utilizing Google Translate, which is kind of a fun thing to do to kind of see what words I know the meaning of, or, like, think it means one thing and then look it up and I'm like, oh, it wasn't even close. So I'm learning. I think that's the only fun part of this book right now because it is really depressing. Essentially, we're following a father whose daughter was just diagnosed with some form of cancer. And essentially his friend, I forget the relation as to how he knows this guy, is essentially telling him that in order to help pay for her treatments and everything, which he's not able to do right now, and he's, like, willing to do anything to help save his daughter, is like, hey, yeah, I can help you out, yeah, go kill this guy, and then I'll give you money that you can use for her treatment. I'm a little confused as to how that turn happened so quick. Like, I'm only on, like I said, like, chapter 4, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is the direction that we're going. Did I read the synopsis for this book? No, I didn't. Because I feel like half the time when I read it, it spoils exactly what happens in the first few chapters. Yeah, and that's exactly what it tells you what is going to happen. So I enjoyed the surprise of knowing the direction this went in just from reading it. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to go. I am determined to try to finish The Covenant before completely finishing this, just so I don't, like, DNF this, because I easily could. But I'm committed to the vlog for you guys, so I'm doing it. And also for Jordaline and completing the Amish Romance prompt. I really hope there's some sort of romance or something in that. But I am anticipating this being really good. I was trying to look up if I could find, like, the translation guide online or something. I couldn't, other than people selling the translation guide on eBay from the Book of the Month edition. So today we're going to a birthday party for my husband's cousin, so I'm going to be kind of busy with things today. And then tomorrow we're going to the Renaissance Fair again, so this could just turn into a second Ren Fair vlog. So yeah, I'll update you once I either make more progress in books or am doing something exciting. Okay, bye. Hello, so I'm here with an update. So there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is I'm DNFing the Covenant. I just don't want to force myself through this. I got to page, I took my bookmark out. I got to like 150 something, but I am just not vibing with this. I don't care. I don't think it's a good use of my time to push through this just to like give it 1 star. Maybe I give it 2. I don't know. Like the writing isn't technically bad, but yeah, I just don't care. And the romance, kind of how I was saying in my other clip, really isn't a romance. Even if it was like a laughable romance or something, I feel like I'd be more entertained. But I'm just bored, so I'm gonna give up and probably never revisit. I'll just accept this is not for me, and we're gonna donate it back to the thrift store. But the good news is I did finish The Devil Takes You Home. I ended up really loving this. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I think that it probably would have helped if I read the synopsis before starting it, because like I knew it was a story about like loss and grief and was a horror book. I didn't realize it was going to be as much of like a thriller / like heist at all. Like I did not know the cartel was involved, which shows you how much I didn't know about this book before I started it. But yeah, it's very much like a heist, one last job type of story. And then the thing that's like interesting and also frustrating about it is like as you follow Mario on this journey, he's like hyper aware that he's making bad decisions, but then he still makes them. So it's just really interesting, like, how grief and loss, like, can compel people to act not great, you know? But I really did appreciate, like, the fight scenes in here were pretty fun. I also did like the, like, supernatural horror elements, which is what makes this different than just straight up, like, a thriller. And then also just the inclusions of like cultural mentions and the Spanish being throughout the book as well. I did try to go through and continue to like look up as the Spanish was coming up, like sentences all throughout the book. I did switch to the audiobook like halfway through just to see what that was like. So there was someone I was listening to the audiobook that I didn't pause it to go to look up the translation, but there's definitely like you still get the gist of what's happening with the plot if you don't look up the translation, but I feel like it's more fun and gives you a more full experience. Obviously the whole book is there for a reason, you know, so that was a good challenge. I do want to keep trying to read books that are not only translated but have other languages featured in them, because I did find that to be a really like engaging element as you're reading, to like have that extra kind of challenge in there as well. So yeah, I'm gonna end up giving this 4 stars, and then I think that's gonna wrap up this vlog as of now. But I did want to say that today I actually went to the library and I did pick up Gabriel Inglesias' new book, House of Bone and Rain, which I'm actually really excited to get to. I also have not read the synopsis for this. I know it's set in Puerto Rico and there's a storm or something. That's all I know. I trust the people on his books, and if they say it's good, I'll just pick it up. Like we're just gonna go into it blind. Which anything that's typically like sort of like thriller elements, I kind of do like fully going in blind. It just tends to be a more fun reading experience for me, so I'm excited to see how that goes. Unfortunately, I did not get to the books that my husband picked for me. I think that I just need to accept that I'm a mood reader and I don't do well at sticking to like set TBRs. I do still really want to read some of the books that he picked, so hopefully soon. It was still kind of a fun experiment, so maybe we'll do a part 2. But yeah, I look forward to having more content in the future, and I hope to see you in a video really soon. Bye.